Hey everybody, should you get Baccarat Rouge 540 or Cloud by Ariana Grande? This is a dupe of Baccarat, and this DNA is a sweet cotton candy-ish kind of smell. This to me also has some sweet cotton candy, but it's more of a creamy coconut tropical vibe mixed with some like an interesting whipped cream note. Okay, so this is a more versatile fragrance than this one in my opinion. I feel like Baccarat is something that I'd only wear at nighttime, fall, or winter. Okay, this one I could see spring, fall, winter, but also summer nights, all right? Because I think it has, you know, that tropical vibe. This one's just like a sweetness monster. Both of them perform extremely well. And let me just preface by saying that if you already own Baccarat, this video is not for you. If it's already sitting on your vanity and it's your go-to, just exit out of this video immediately, all right? So what was I saying? Both of them perform great. This goes over 12 hours. This goes over 10 hours. And I don't know what people are saying when they're talking about Cloud not having any performance, because I gifted this to my grandmother. She only does 2 sprays of it here on her sweater. 1, 2 at 9 in the morning. I still smell this fragrance at 10 p.m. And I'm not even in her scent bubble. That's me an arm's length away, and I can still smell this projecting. So it is a fragrance. Sorry, my nose and my allergies, man. This is a fragrance that you can easily get nose blind to as the wearer, but it does push off the skin really, really well. So if you don't think you smell it on yourself, ask the people around you. 9 times out of 10, I would even say 10 times out of 10, they'll be like, yeah, I could smell you. And that's if you're not just like doing a tiny spray and expecting it to last 10 hours. You know what I mean? Give it a full spray. Get like 3 sprays. You'll be good. 3 to 5, whatever you want. But yeah, I think that Baccarat Rouge is worth it to buy it if you just want something luxurious. Like you don't care about popularity, you just want a luxury buy and you want to have it in your vanity. More of like a pride thing. You're like, yeah, I want to have something that is super luxurious in my collection that has a high compliment factor, that lasts a long time, and that is a sweet smelling fragrance, then go for it. Get this one right here. But if you're looking to get Baccarat because you heard that it's unique, that it's something that's going to separate you from the crowd and also has a high compliment factor, the last part is correct, but this is no longer a unique scent DNA, okay? This is the most popular niche fragrance on the market. Saying that this is a unique fragrance is the equivalent of a guy saying, I wear Dior Sauvage and nobody does it like me. Like there's, you know what I mean? It's like a fuck ton of people wear that scent. There's the reason it's the #1. And the sad part, which isn't any fault of MFK's or Baccarat Rouge's success, but this thing has become so successful to a point that so many like clone houses are trying to dupe the fragrance. And you see that here with the Ariana Grande Cloud, right? But they haven't been able to like successfully clone it to a point where it's unrecognizable, where you can't tell like, oh, is this Baccarat or is this a clone? Okay, I think that all these dupes have made it like the DNA is very similar to a point where if you smell it in the air, you're like, okay, yeah, I know that's like the typical Baccarat Rouge DNA. At least that's what I call it. When I smell like a sweet cotton candy, I think of this fragrance right here. And the one downside I would say about this fragrance, which kind of goes off it not being unique, is the fact that, well, my sister actually wanted to blind buy this months ago, and she held off on it. And when one of my followers sent this to me, we sprayed it and we both liked it. But we were like, damn, bro, like we have smelled this on like 30 women before. Like this is a scent that you've definitely smelled at a club, at a bar, like when you smelled a couple passing by you going to sit down dinner. You know what I mean? Like this kind of DNA is just everywhere now. Okay, so I really want to drive that point across, that you are not going to get something very unique with this fragrance because everyone has tried to copy it, which sucks. But I think as a standalone fragrance, it's great. Like I mentioned, I think it's worth it if you want a luxury buy. That's a safe choice and you don't care how popular it is. Baccarat is a good fragrance. But yeah, I think most of the people that have that, when they wear fragrances and you kind of smell this in the air, it's not, most of the time it's not Baccarat Rouge. Like for example, my cousin, during his birthday in August, I went to his place and he's like, yeah, you have to smell my signature scent. Come here, like this is amazing. I love this one. I smell it and it's from All Saints and it's a dupe of Baccarat Rouge. So like immediately off the bat, I noticed that. I was like, okay, yeah, it's another Baccarat dupe. So when you are going out and you smell this kind of DNA, sure, it might not be Baccarat, but it's just, it's hitting so close that now when I, like, if I were to actually smell Baccarat, I'm just like, okay, like, it's just been a bit too, like, it's worn to a point where I'm more numb to it, you know? I'm not just like, oh, that's an amazing scent. I'm just kind of like, oh, like, I like it. I'm still like, oh, it's Baccarat, but I'm no longer like, man, what is that? They smell so good. You know what I mean? It's just like an, oh, that's nice kind of reaction that I get to it. So in short, I think I honestly kind of prefer the smell of Cloud personally, just because I like the coconut vibe that it has. And this one is a bit too sweet for me as the wearer. But if I like, when I even smell these on different people, I compliment them the same. You know what I mean? I don't think that the compliment factor is a huge disparity here where like this gets more compliments than this one. They are both pretty much neck and neck with each other, honestly speaking. Like this gets a lot of great reactions. And the thing is, I know most people only have around, like, they're not going to be dropping $325 on a 70 ml fragrance. Like this is 100 ml. And that's around like $60. You know, it's just more realistic for people, right? So and the thing like that, I don't want anyone thinking that I'm just like, oh yeah, like dupes are better, all that kind of stuff, and generalizing, because for the most part, I usually always prefer the original, and I still like the original on this. I honestly look at these as two separate fragrances. I don't look at this and I'm like, oh yeah, let me wear like the Baccarat dupe. I see it more as a standalone scent instead of smelling exactly like this one. But yeah, it's hard to process in my mind. Like if I were to tell somebody, yeah, just buy Baccarat Rouge, like it depends on your motive. Okay, so just to say it again, if you want to be unique and you're trying to blind buy this, don't buy this if you think you're going to be unique, because you won't be unique. Buy this if you just literally want a sweet, easy to like fragrance and you want something luxurious in your dresser. Okay, I think that Cloud is very affordable. I think as a standalone fragrance, it has an amazing scent trail. It has an amazing projection, longevity, everything you can ask for in a sweet kind of fragrance. The one thing I will say, and I disagree with, is people say that this smells plasticky. I don't know what they're talking about. I think if you do this, of course, you might smell a little bit of plastic, right? But you don't test your fragrances that way. Like when you're going to Ulta and Sephora, like you don't just grab a fragrance and smell it like this and be like, okay, no, I don't like that one, or I like this one, and buy it that way. Spray it like on your arm, like spray it in the air. Make sure that the juice is leaving the atomizer. And then, you know, throughout the day, base it off that. Because if you're smelling it like this, of course, that's not going to be the way the scent plays out. And on top of that, nobody that I know, and there's been, like, I've tested this, my sister, my grandmother, my cousins, nobody smells like plastic. If you're smelling like plastic with this fragrance, it's definitely just an individual skin chemistry thing, that your skin just doesn't work with this. So I would suggest, if that's the case, spray it on your clothes if it's kind of a little off for you. But yeah, that's a complaint people say is the plastic thing, and some people say alcohol-y, but all that is just about like not spraying the fragrance like properly. When they say it smells like alcohol, that's probably them spraying it so close to their wrist where it's dripping and then they just smell it immediately. Like, of course, the fragrance hasn't settled and you're just smelling a bunch of alcohol that way, you know? So always spray at a distance when you're testing it and never touch it. Don't be rubbing it in at all. There's no need for it, and it can actually take off some of the top notes of the fragrance and ruin the longevity of the fragrance sometimes, all right? So anyways, I hope that helped. Depends on what you're looking for. Like, there's no right or wrong answer if this is better than this, okay? So it depends on what you personally want. Anyways, I hope you have a great night, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.